Hello everyone, I hope you've been doing great. So in this tutorial, we're going to be talking about camera and its benefits. So let's jump into pcon. So we are in, this rendering style, the realistic. So what we were using before was a saved, my render style. I can apply it whenever I want. I can click on it. And if I want to go back into standard, I can click here and I will go back to standard. So let's look into camera. So to create camera, you have to go to view here, and here are two options saying camera from view or is saying camera. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna use is camera from view. And what does that mean? That whenever you want to set up a camera here, for example, I want to set up a camera here. Let me zoom out. So we have to find a spot here. Let's say I like this spot and I want to set up a camera here. So I can go up into camera from view and just click here and the camera will be created. You can see also here that there's a blue marking showing that we are inside the camera. So let me zoom out and show you what does this what's the benefit of camera. So here you can see the camera has been set up in this angle. So when I'm working in pcon and let's say I move things around here and I want to show the customer how the view look, and instead of going again and setting up the position where I want to take pictures or send images, I can just go into this camera and it has saved my location of viewing. In other words, you can say that. So I can just go up in here. You can see in this is an up here saying perspective or orthographic and so many views. Here down there you can find cameras, and you can see that the camera one, the one we have saved, is already set up. So I'm just going to click here and I will just quickly jump into that camera. So now whenever I'm working, I am doing my things and I want to go back to camera and want to send images. I'm just going to go into perspective, camera, and I can just click here and it will take me directly to the camera. Okay, perfect. So this is clear. And and I can also set the camera setting by going up here into the properties, because we are inside the camera right now. So we can set up the camera setting. For example, I can use camera mode to perspective, and you can see the eye height and the target height. So the thing is that whenever you set a camera, you want to set it up in a certain height so it look realistic. I mean, you don't want to set it so up high here. For example, if I take this height, let's say 2500, this is a target height. Let me change this eye height to 2500. So you can see it's just looking from quite up here and it doesn't look realistic. Let me put into let's say something 1200, and this one a little bit down here. So we can put our camera here and the angle a little bit down. So if we see from the left view, I can show you what I mean. Or we can go to front view here and you can see here. So this is our camera. If I click on it, and this is our camera and this is our target. So we can set the height here, or I can just set it here as I like. And then there's also something called opening angle. So if I go into my camera again here and change this to this rendering style into colors, and then you can see that I can change the angle and I can widen up the angle and bring more things in the camera, and so I can adjust the camera as I like. And in this way I can bring more things in here, but at the same time I don't want to make it so sharp so it look very unrealistic. I'm just going to keep it a little bit down here so I can see things as well as I can it look nice. So let's go into top view here. And you can see this camera is there. I can just click on the camera to select it, and you can see, and now I can move it also here like this, and I can also move the target. So in this way you can play with the camera and just the angle. So one thing I can do is, like before, you have seen that we have 4 views here. I am not going to be using 4 views right now. I just need 2 views. So what I can do is I can go down here and click here, and it's saying what kind of stage you want. I can just click here and vertical and say I just want 2 views. So in this view, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this into camera. Perfect. And here I can set up into top view. Okay, and now you can see that when I'm going to set my camera here, I'm going to move it. I can easily adjust the angle. I can click in the middle here. I can move it back here in the corner so I can see the whole room. And I can move it around here. Let me maximize this way, and now you can see we are looking at the whole room. One more thing I will do is I'm gonna change my rendering style into this realistic, so I can see the blue sky. So now you can see that I can see the whole room, and I can just move it a little bit side here as well, like this here, and change the angle like this. And let's look into it. So I mean, this is very easy to move camera and adjust thing, and I can set up in the right height as well. I can go to the left here, sorry, maybe go to the front here, and I will change the view to lines here. Maybe click in the middle here and move it down. So when you click in the middle here, you can move up and down and side. But if you click in this corner here, it will be a target of your camera. You can move it the target, and if you click here, you will move the camera. So to move the whole camera and the target, you would just click in the middle and move it up and down. So you can see that we have set up the camera, and I mean, we can work on it, our perspective, and whenever we want to go back to it, you can just go up into cameras here and go up in there. So one more thing that I want to discuss is that, I mean, we have created camera from view, like looking at the view, and then we went here and says camera from view. We can also create camera by clicking a specific area and create it. Let's do that. So I'm going to go up into camera here, and from here I will click and drag, and then I can set up the angle of view, and then I'm going to click again. Okay, now I have set up the camera. This is another way, you can say a second way to create cameras. And if I go to the front here, you will see that the camera is on the ground. It's not like we did before. The camera had certain height, and this is on the floor. So I'm going to click in the middle. I'm going to take it up here like this, and now I will click on the target and I will take it down here. So you can see that the target is getting attached to different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, and I will say turn off the axis snap, and now you can see that I can move it up and down. Okay, and I can also put the camera a little bit up and down, so I can do that. And one more thing is that you can also access the camera views from here. Here you can see I have camera 1 and camera 2. So what I will do is, like, I'm going to go in here, and I will select camera 2, the one we just created. And you can see this is our camera 2 here. So I'm going to adjust it a little bit, turn off the axis. So we are looking from another angle. Go to the top view, and then we can put it in the corner here, and maybe adjust this one something here. Let's see. So I mean, you can see the camera has a little bit more height, and I mean, I can just put these both down. Let's say I can put the eye height of this camera into 100, enter, and maybe the target a little bit more down to 900. Yeah. So now you can see that we have two cameras here. Let me go to perspective here and do color. So we have two cameras here, and this one here, this one here, and I can just save it here now. And whenever I want to send images to customer, or whenever I want to create renderings, which we're going to do later, I can just go to these cameras, and I can just click into this one and go in this one, or I can just go into this camera, and I can create nice images from here. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be talking about lights and how we can add lights, and then we will slowly move toward 3D renderings, that how we can create realistic rendering out of pcon planner. So this is going to be interesting. See you guys.